Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of a new series that I don't have a name for, where I am essentially just going to sit down and start talking about life with you guys. I made it one of my goals in 2016 to really spend some more time on my channel talking about real life stuff, not necessarily real life issues, but just like everyday things that people go through. I kind of want to talk about some stuff that people don't really ever touch on either. But this particular video is going to be more of an introduction to kind of the thing that I want to do with this series. It's not going to have a real rhyme or reason to it, but because I haven't really prepared a lot. But what I thought I would talk to you guys about today is, you know, the things that I have learned about 9 months after graduating college / university, whatever you call it, wherever you're from. So I'm officially done with school, and I've been out almost 9 months now, and I just thought I would sit and share with you some of the things I've learned. Again, I don't really have like a plan set for what I'm gonna do in this video. I just figured I would kind of talk from the heart and talk to you about some things that I have dealt with post-grad. And yeah, so I guess I'm just going to jump in, maybe kind of go in order of the months that I've spent out of college and tell you a little bit about my experience. So right out of college, I went back home to my parents because I did not have a job upon graduation, which is pretty common nowadays, even though there seems to be a lot of pressure to have a job when you graduate. I definitely felt that, but at the same time, I probably did not take the steps I could have taken to get a full-time job out of college. But yeah, I ended up going home, moving back in with my parents after college, and raising my pup, who is chewing on a drumstick over there if you can hear it. But I moved back in with my parents, and I spent that first couple of months in Memphis, which is where I lived. And it was a very hard set of months for me. I think you might have been able to tell if you've been watching my videos that I was really struggling with trying to find a job and feeling inadequate and feeling like I had done everything I should have done in college and something just wasn't right. I was doing something wrong. I couldn't figure out why nobody would respond to my emails. I really wanted to live in Los Angeles, but it just seemed so hard to try to find a job here without living here. And I was struggling with some stuff with some friends and just everybody changing post-graduation, not necessarily in bad ways, just everything being different. So I really struggled those first couple months out of college. And like I said, I felt like I had done everything that I was supposed to do in college in order to be successful in my post-grad life. I had gotten good grades, I'd done a ton of extracurricular stuff, I, had many internships during my time, I had networked, I had made connections, I had done all the things I was supposed to do during college in order to, get out of college and just instantly be successful. And I think that was what was really hard for me, was feeling like all of my hard work during college wasn't paying off the way that I wanted it to. And that was just very difficult for me. And I think that's a lot of, things that people don't talk about post-grad, is like, sometimes you do everything you're supposed to do and you didn't go out and party away your education, you didn't, fail a bunch of tests and never go to class, like, and you can do everything that you're quote unquote supposed to do and get out of college, and it doesn't just get handed to you, and sometimes that's really hard to swallow. And you'll have people that just goofed off in college and didn't take it seriously, that will get jobs right out of college or will get jobs before they graduate, and you're like, oh, but I worked so much harder than those people, why did I not get a job post-graduation? And I think I've learned the most is that you have to let other people's journeys be totally separate from yours, and you can't compare your journey. You can't compare what they're going through, what they're doing, because they may have that job and it looks great from the outside and they absolutely hate it and they're treated like trash and it's horrible. And then you could be 3 months out of graduation and then finally get your job and end up loving it, and that person is stuck in a job they hated. So even though they got it after graduation like you're supposed to, it doesn't always work out that way. And I've really come to learn that in the past couple of months, of like comparing your journey to other people's journeys is really the least helpful thing you can do for yourself. It's like, you can't look at people who are successful, who are your age or younger, and be like, there's something wrong with me because I'm not doing that. because that's not true. It's just two very different journeys. And I just think that's really important to learn. And I think I learned that. And I think that goes into kind of my next point, is that post-graduation, your friendships and your relationships will totally change. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they change for the worse. It doesn't necessarily mean that they change for the better. Sometimes they just are different. And that's the only word you can use to describe it, is that people will, grow up and grow into their own, and you'll have people who you just don't connect with anymore. And then you'll have people that you weren't very close with become very close with those people. And, you'll have some people who will just be different, and it's not good, it's not bad, you just don't really have anything in common anymore. There's not a falling out, there's not a drama to it, it's just they're different. And college is a time where things are very easy in a sense of making friends and staying friends, because you're all in the same place at the same time, you're home for breaks, you both are experiencing the same college experience of like going to class and having homework and being busy. And I feel like it's a lot easier in college to maintain relationships if you actually really work on it, because you're kind of in the same place, especially if you go to the same school. You're like actually in the same vicinity as each other, and you have more time to spend together. Whereas post-graduation, friends move all over the country, or have new jobs, or get married, or get engaged, or go off and move out of the country to work, or to spend some time traveling, and like everything really changes, and it becomes a lot harder to maintain friendships, and it becomes a lot harder to make friendships. And it becomes in adulthood, you don't necessarily have that community of people like you do in college. There's not all these people that have something in common, that all live in the same area and are kind of working towards the same goals. It becomes like, okay, now I move out and I work at a job, but I don't really know these people very well. And sometimes the people you work with aren't really people you'd hang out with outside of work. And you have to try a whole lot harder to make friendships. And you kind of have to get rid of your pride, in a sense of like, if you want to make friends, you have to reach out to people, and you have to say yes when they ask you to hang out, and you have to actually work very hard, in my opinion, to make friendships, and know that it's not just like you're in the same class so you just become friends and that's it. Like, that doesn't happen when you're an adult. And I think that's a lot of things they don't tell you, is like in college, is like how to make friends when you're not in the like same vicinity as other people. It becomes very difficult, but at the same time it becomes very interesting, because you can really be, choosy of your friends, in a sense of like, you don't have to be friends with people because you don't see them all the time. And like, that's really refreshing. And I can tell you that even though these things have been a struggle for me, like being an adult has been wonderful. Being out of school and not having to worry about homework, and not having to do all these different things in order to feel like I'm successful, and like having to, I don't know, just being an adult has been so wonderful. Even though it's been hard and it's been weird, it's been like, I'm so glad to be done with school. And it wasn't that I hated college, because I definitely didn't, but like not having to, come home and do homework at the end of the day is an amazing feeling, you guys. Like, hang in there, because when you're done, life is good. Life is awesome to come home from work and, hopefully in a field that you love, and you're doing something that is working towards what you want to do, or you get to do what you actually want to do with the rest of your life. And then you get to come home and you get to be home, and you don't have to do homework. You don't have to, go to night classes. You don't have to, do anything related to school, and you can just come home and be. And I think that's my favorite part of being an adult, is that I get to come home, I get to be with my dog, I get to sit down, I get to watch TV, I get to go hang out with friends, I get to do anything I want to do, and I don't have to worry about going to school the next day, I don't have to worry about getting assignments done. Like, as long as I get all my work done at work, like, I get to come home and I get to be home, and nobody can tell me what to do after I get home. And that's wonderful, and it's really great. And it's really great having your own money and being able to choose what you do with that money instead of relying on your parents. And while my parents are still very helpful to me, like, the majority of my money now comes from my own earning, and you start to earn your own money and you get to do your own thing. And nobody can tell me what I can and cannot purchase with my own money. And it's being an adult is really great, but being an adult is also very difficult. And I think, there's this like millennials get handed everything that they want in life and it's so easy and all they ever do is get connected on their phones and don't do anything. But I can tell you right now that that's not true, and it's so hard to be a 20-something in today's world and to have all of these expectations on us that, you know, we have to be able to do everything all the time, and we have to have 5 years of experience for an entry-level job, and, you know, all of these crazy things that just really aren't fair to us, but we get kind of dumped on all the time. And, you know, maybe we are technology dependent, but at the same time, like, my mom and my mom's friends and most of the adults I know spend just as much time on the internet as we do, you know, and the internet is so special because you genuinely get to meet people and talk to people and make friendships. And, you know, like, I have made some of the best friendships I've ever had over the internet. Like, and I think that is 100% true, 100% genuine, is there are people I have met via the internet that just get me, and we talk all the time, and even though we haven't met in person, like, I have a community with that person and I have a relationship with those people, and like, I just think that's great. So yeah, this video again had no real rhyme or reason to it, but these are the kind of things that I want to like sit down and talk to you guys about and be vulnerable. And I made this one of my 2016 goals to do one of these videos a month. So what I would love to do for this video is for you guys to leave comments down below telling me the kinds of things you would like me to talk about. It can be anything from like self-confidence to I really want to do one about being a family member of an addict. I kind of did that on someone else's channel with a video. I'll link right here. You can actually go watch that. But I would really love to do one about being the family member of an addict, and, you know, how you aren't struggling with the addiction, but you are. I would love to do a video about that. I would love to do a video about friendships, about relationships, about work, about internships, about just life in general, and depression, mental health, anxiety, the things that I have done in my own mental health journey. And I would love to talk to you guys about those things. So please leave me ideas for different topics to talk about below, as well as like what you think this series should be called. I think I'm tentatively, can't say words, going to call it Life Talk, which is very generic, but then I also kind of want to call it Floor Sits, because even though I'm not sitting on the floor right now, which kind of negates that, one of my favorite things to do with my friends is to sit on the floor and just have life talks, and we always call them floor sits. Especially me and Mary Calvert always call them floor sits, where we just sit and we talk about life and about everything. And I would love to do that with you guys because I consider you to be my friends. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me topics down in the bottom bar below. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, which is nuts to me. So please, if you like this video, please subscribe. I would love you forever, and I will talk to you guys very soon. In the meantime, my name is Parker. This is Stories in the Dust, and I really hope you'll stick around a while. Bye guys.